Alright, guys, let's pick some fights for this upcoming card on Saturday for UFC 322. Um, Beneil Dariush versus Benoit Saint Denis. Let's get into it. Um, I'm gonna be picking Benoit Saint Denis. I think that, you know, his grappling, Beneil has good grappling as well. I think that Benoit's grappling will, kind of, you know, they'll mesh together, but I think it's gonna end up being a fight of will. And I just personally think that Benoit will have more of the toughness to push through and win this fight. I think Beneil doesn't have enough. I could see like Beneil is a good, like don't get me wrong, like I can see him winning, but if I had to pick, I would pick Benoit Saint Denis. I just think that he's up and coming more. He got some really good experience from his Dustin Poirier fight, and I think that's gonna benefit him a lot in this Beneil Dariush fight. So I'm going with Benoit Saint Denis. Um, and yeah, this is gonna be a great fight. All right, up next, Leon Edwards and Carlos Prates. So this one's a bit tricky, cause genuinely, um, I don't know. Like Leon was obviously the champion. He beat Kamaru Usman. Um, But then he lost to Bilal Muhammad, obviously. No shame in that. Bilal Muhammad's, one of the best welterweights in the world. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Carlos Prates, like, he just gives the vibes that he's not really, like, championship material. I think you guys kind of understand what I mean by that. I'm going to go with Leon Edwards. I think he's just too quick on the feet. I think he's more technical. And now that Carlos Prates is moving up, I feel like previously his toughness was kind of getting him through, but now it's getting more skill for skill. And I think Leon Edwards is just overall much better. And even the grappling. So if they grapple, like Leon Edwards has the edge, I believe. Um, Maybe not like the technicals, like the submissions, but I think just like, the clinch and then like, those like sneaky takedowns. But yeah, Leon Edwards, I'm gonna go with him. Um, I think it's gonna be a. Mm, I'm gonna go with decision. I think I'll go to decision. I think Prates is too tough to get finished, honestly. Um, but I think Leon will outpoint him. All right, Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. I'm gonna go. Okay, so before I get into that, like I'll just kind of explain what I think about each fighter. Michael Morales, dynamic striker, very flashy. But then on the other hand, we have Sean Brady, who's more like to the book. Just get a takedown, advanced position, stuff like that. I'm gonna go with Sean Brady. I believe that the fight's just gonna go pretty much how I explained it. Takedown, holding him down, a little bit of ground and pound here and there. I think it's gonna be kind of a dry fight unless Morales can keep it on the feet. If he can keep it on the feet, I can see him doing really well, but I do think that Sean Brady's just gonna get him down, and it's gonna be more of like a slower kind of fight. So I'm just gonna go Sean Brady, and honestly, I could see it by like submission, round four submission. All right, Shevchenko versus Whaley. So both fighters, obviously, very good strikers. Um, they're really similar in the sense like they're the more skilled fighters in their division, respective divisions. I'm gonna go with Shevchenko. I think this fight's also gonna go to decision. I think they are pretty similar in skill and power, all that stuff. I don't really have too much to say about this fight. I'm just gonna go with Shevchenko. But now the fight that we're all waiting for, Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev. This fight is gonna be interesting. Obviously, Islam's moving up in weight. Um, but personally, I think Islam's just gonna win this fight relatively simple. I know that he's moving up in weight, um, but still, I don't really see how. I mean, I know JDM kind of like his fight with Bilal Muhammad, he was defending takedowns very well. But personally, I think Islam just has more like tricks up his sleeve with the takedowns. But then again, Islam's previous fight with Dustin Poirier, you could look at that and be like, oh, like he did struggle a little bit, and JDM's just a much bigger and more powerful version of Dustin Poirier. and some might say even a better striker. Um, but yeah, JDM's like his striking is very like precise. He doesn't just throw to throw. He throws with intentions of landing a combination or putting someone down. Like he's very calculated, and Islam's like that with the grappling, I would say. I would say if Islam can take this fight to the ground, which I believe he will, he's going to win. It's gonna be a very like tough fight, but I could see this fight going another like round four, round five submission for Makhachev. But I don't. I can see how people think JDM would win. But if he were to win, I would say it would be by decision. I can't see Islam really getting finished, especially with no less of a weight cut, right? And you got to take that into consideration. Makachev is moving up in weight. He's going to be stronger, less drained. His chin's going to be even better than before, and his chin's already like extremely good. Um, those takedowns might be even more aggressive, with more power, more strength. So you got to take that into account as well. And yeah, this fight's very exciting, honestly. I can't wait for this fight. Um, it feels like we haven't had a fight like this in a while. Like, just two guys at the top of their game. Um, and yeah, JDM's gonna be, doing his thing. I think it's gonna be a battle of who can implement their game plan better. JDM's a very good boxer, but with that being said, I feel like the threat of the kickboxing isn't gonna be there as much, and this will be the advantage for Islam because, you know, he's just gonna be throwing like combinations, boxing combinations. I think Islam can get into the clinch or get into like a takedown, take him down, control him on the ground, and possibly get a dart stroke like as usual or something like that or an arm bar. Um, he could honestly, I mean, he could hurt JDM on the feet as well. Islam's developed, he's became a much better striker over time, and he's going to have more power now, more than ever. So I wouldn't be shocked to see, Islam doing some damage on the feet. But yeah, I'm going to go Islam Makhachev, round four or round five, submission. Um, Again, this fight's honestly exciting, super exciting. Looking forward to it. I want to see what you guys think about this overall card in the comments. I just did the main card because, um, I don't know. There's not too much to say with the prelims. I know Bo Nichols fighting. He's probably gonna win. He's fighting a can. And then he's gonna get on the mic and say some stupid shit like, "Oh, I'm gonna beat Hamzat Chimaev." Uh, but yeah, other than that, overall, pretty solid card. Looking forward to it. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think, by the way. Your predictions. Like, I want to know. I really, really want to know. I'm interested. And let me know, like, what you think they're going to win by. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you again. And I'll see you guys next time.